Also, Carolina says, I'm not ready to stamp this team until we start beating teams like the Rams, 49ers, Bills, and Bucks. Okay, this is where I would say it's a little bit different for me. I think it's just as important for you to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, right? A game like yesterday where, Jets defense is, being pretty stingy, Sauce Gardner, I won't say he's locking T-Mac up, but it's, look, you need somebody else to step up. Somebody else did. Every NFL game, like, look, this is still the NFL. Like, you see it. It is literally at any given Sunday, right? The Falcons get beat last night. We beat the Falcons, 0-30, but then they beat Buffalo, right? Which I think that we can do the same thing because they kind of gave you a formula on how to do it. But the point is that these guys are all professionals. All these guys were high on somebody's draft board, or all these guys were overachievers, like, whether you want to call Rico an overachiever or not. But yeah, I mean, these guys, like, they're all good. So I think it's important to be able to beat the teams because a culture setter like Carolina, like, look, we were 0-3 on the road to this point, right? I know it's the Jets, but that's one of those trap games. That's one of those games where we saw it. You go home, beat Atlanta 30-0. You're feeling yourself. You go to New England and get absolutely trounced, which, look, New England has proved to be a really good team this year, right, so far. And I think that's going to continue. But to beat us that bad, do I think we're that bad of a team? No, I don't. I think that it's just that a young team has to learn how to win. And yesterday was one of those moments. Look, this thing could have flipped. Without J.C. Horn heroics, without, edge setting, without sacks, it could have flipped because it was wide open for them to, especially, down the stretch. When Bryce gets hurt, it's wide open for them to come back. But it didn't. So I think it's very important for a team to establish themselves, to learn how to win games like this so that they can get to the point to do what you want them to do, and that's beat the Rams, 49ers, Bills, and Bucks.